come up here and write on this board in a line things that represent God or love. Whoever has got something, just come on up and write it on the board.
Like what? Whatever God or love.
Something that represents God.
God or love. Y'all can be seated. So I'm excited this morning, but I just want to start in John. We're going to start in John 1. We're just going to start reading. I was singing something this morning that I've never seen before. And this is another one of those parts in Daddy's Bible here that he has got marked. just marked up. I remember my daddy rolling this off like it was nothing. I mean, it obviously meant something to him, and I remember him when he first really got this. Mom Pam will remember too, because she says it all the time about the Word. We're all a Word. So I'm going to just start reading. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the same was in the beginning with God. Now I want y'all to think about this later, but this is kind of mind-boggling. But that's not why we're here. But that had me stumped for a minute. It's one of those things where you just kind of look off into space and it's like, I can't get that. So, all things were made by Him, and without Him was not anything made that was made. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light. So what is the light? The light shineth in darkness, and in Him was life, and the life was the light of men. In God was life, and the light was the light of men. So therefore, the life was the light of men. So therefore, in God will. In God there is life and light. But yet God is in the light of men. We're going to keep reading. So John came to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. Every man that cometh into the world has this light. It said it lighteth every man, not that know Jesus, but that every man that cometh into this world has that light. Which is what? Light. Which comes from who? God. Okay? He was in the world, and the world was made by Him, and the world knew Him not. And He came unto His own, and His own received Him not. He came into what He created, and what He created received Him not. The light did not receive Him. The very light that He was did not receive Him. But as many as received Him, to them He gave power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on His name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. Yes. Every man who was born of the will of God.
Go ahead.
Yes.
It don't matter how they were born or what intentions they were conceived under, but they were born unto the will of God. With what? With the light. With the light of God. With the life of God. They were born into this world. And the Word, what is the Word? The Word is with God. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was God. So God was made flesh and dwelt among us. and we behold His glory. The glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. We hold this glory.
Yes.
The light holds this glory. This glory that comes unto every man. Everyone who is born holds this light, and this glory of God dwells within them. It's a little opposite from what we've been taught, because we was taught that we have to reach out and find this light. This light dwells within us.
Yes, yes.
This God dwells within us automatically, but because just because we're here,
Yes.
He dwells within us.
Hallelujah.
The fact that we are here today, if you are here, He dwells within you because it's life.
Yes.
John bare witness of Him and cried, saying, This was He whom I spake. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for He was before me, and His fullness have all we received, and grace for grace. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Jesus Christ.
Hallelujah.
Grace and truth came by Jesus Christ. That is the only thing. The law, which was what? The law was put here because of sin, because of darkness. Because if there is a light within us, there is also darkness within us. Because if there was no darkness, there would be no need for a light.
Yes.
Amen.
But yet the light came first. Because in the beginning was the Word,
Yes. Yes.
which was God, which was the light. The light came before the darkness.
Hallelujah.
So now we're living in something that's duality. We're living between light and darkness. We're living between what's right and what's wrong, what's good and what's evil. We're living between what's fear and what is love. Because God is love.
Yes.
And the darkness is fear. There's fear in the darkness. There's fear of the unknown, which is in the darkness. But through God, we have a plan and a future.
Yes.
There's no fear in a plan and a future because we know what's before us. So, how do we get to this light? How do we find this light? How do we come out of this darkness? Well, people say, well, God. Yes and no. Yes, God. But where is God? He's in the light of men. So how do you come out of darkness? You find the man with the light in your life. You find people in your life that carry the light. See, a lot of time, all my life I thought I had to find God. But all I had to find was the right person to show me God and show me who I was and show me the light that was in my life.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Man is in God. God is in, yes, both of them. Man is in God, but God is in men.
Yes.
The light is in men. The first thing that was written on the board was life. Love is God. God is life. First thing being life. So where do we seek? We seek life. Because when we seek life, we seek God. But see, all these other things, freedom, family, new beginnings, water is life, beauty, healing, grace. We're going to come back to this one. Where do we seek this stuff at? How do we achieve this? Where is this stuff at? Well, you say it's in God. Yes, it is in God. But the only way you're going to find any of this is through people. All these things come through people. Your freedom is going to come by somebody setting you free. Somebody is going to come give you a different idea, a different option that is going to free your mind. Think about this physically. If you are in prison, how are you going to get out of prison? Somebody holds the key. Somebody has to let you out.
Yes.
Somebody.
Yes.
Somebody has to break you out of your mindset. Somebody has to make you free. So therefore, who you surround yourself with and who you seek after is the ones who's going to hold your keys.
Yes.
Everybody has always said it's all about who you know. In the business world, in everything, that is true. It is all about who you know. Because who you know and who you meet along the way is the one that's going to put you where you are going to be in your future. So what are we doing all day? Who are we knowing? Are we surrounding ourselves with people who are not prospering us in any way and who are, instead of breaking us out of bondage, putting us in bondage? Because the darkness goes the same way. We can live in that same darkness the same way. We can make a complete different list that would be twice as long about fear. Because this list is love. The other list is fear, which rules the darkness. Love rules life. Fear rules the darkness. New beginnings. I know why you wrote that, because you're excited about what Brother Dale was talking about.
Amen.
But would you have had that opportunity without Brother Dale?
No, absolutely not. I'm just going to do it by myself.
But now you have something to focus for, something that completes what you're doing. Because before you was doing it for yourself, and it would have benefited nobody but you. Now who's it going to benefit? Who knows?
Who knows?
God is in the light of men. And now the light that was inspired through you and you together is going to shine on other men.
Yes.
That same light.
Yes.
That same light is going to shine on however many men that it touches. And guess what's going to happen to that light? It's going to shine even more, because you know what? Just like he said, what's the statistic for how many men lose their life every day?
22 veterans.
22 veterans. If you save one of those and he sees the light,
Yes.
how many more is going to see his light? Because he wouldn't have even been here to even have a light, and he would have had no God, because God is in the light of men. This is changing my life, how I perceive life altogether. It is changing everything. What we become is who we surround ourselves with. I was told that all my life, and it made no sense to me. We should seek after life. We should seek after people with these attributes in life. With joy, peace, hope, love, kindness. With a family, with new beginnings. With living water, with grace, with healing, with beauty, with freedom. Because when we start to seek after that in life and people, when we seek after those people, we're seeking after everything that God is. When we find that, that's where God is. And what's going to happen when we start sowing our lives into these people's hands, and we start becoming one with these people, all of a sudden the seed that they have begins to grow inside of us and begins to spread. The same way that light begins to grow inside of us, the same way it's on them. Where they have these things, we will start to have these things. We will start to grow together, and the light shines brighter and brighter and brighter. I was listening to something the other day, and the man said, life will pay you any price you ask for. Life will pay you any price you ask for. Why? Why will life pay you any price that you ask for? Because that word that's with God is inside of every man. And that word is what you're sowing. And what you ask for, what you seek for, you're going to find. That's the price. That life is going to pay you what you ask for. If you seek, you will find. If you go door to door to door to door and knock, somebody's going to open the door for you. We have to seek these things in life. We have to go find these things in life. Because the door is never going to be open unless you knock. We have to get out and start knocking on doors and start looking for these things right here. We have to look everywhere on our daily walk. Every step we turn, we look for this, and when we find it, we chase after it. Because it's life, and it's the light of God. Love, the definition of love is an intense feeling or deep. I can't even read my own writing. Affliction. Affection. It's a deep affection. It's an intense feeling. It's not an affliction. It could be. It's an intense feeling or a deep affection. All these things. Your family should be, and you should have an intense feeling toward the people in your life that is your family. Family is not just like by blood. Family is what we have right here. You look around, this is your family. This is the people that is there for you. Can you separate yourself from your family? Yes, you can. But guess what? That intense feeling towards you is never going to change. That affection towards you is never going to change. That's love. All these things carry that intense feeling, that affection. And it's infectious, as you said. Other people see that and they thrive for it. They want it. Why? Because it's God. It's everything that God is. Because I looked up love, I had to look up fear. Because it's the opposite of love. And it's an unpleasant emotion caused by belief that someone or something is dangerous or likely to cause pain or a threat. It's a belief. It's an unpleasant feeling, but love being you're chasing after something, an affection towards something. Fear is you're withdrawing yourself from something because of you believe that it's going to cause you pain, that it's going to cause you hurt, even though it might not. See, we live our life in this fear. And we're in the darkness because of fear. Because we believe something that's not true. We believe something that we really don't have any proof of. But it might. It's likely to. But see, love in life and freedom, all this stuff is guaranteed. It is guaranteed to do something. Brother Bobby, if you love somebody, they're not, you come at somebody with love, it don't matter how mad they are, you will change their whole everything. Why? Because you come at them with love. Your light conquered their darkness.
Yes.
They cannot come at you and do any harm to you.
Yes.
Why? Because the fear inside of them was conquered by love.
Yes.
The darkness inside of them was conquered by the light. We have to carry these things daily. Seek these things because you will find these things. I want to go to Ephesians 5. Verse 1. Be ye therefore followers of God as dear children, and walk in love as Christ has also loved us, and hath given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and uncleanliness and covetousness is the opposite of these things. This is the list for the opposite of these things.
Yes.
Covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints, neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor gestures, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. For this ye know, that no whoremongers, nor unclean persons, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience. Be not ye therefore partakers with them. Be not partakers of the opposite of this list.
Yes.
Be not partakers in fear, because all of these things is spawned by fear. Be not partakers of fear. For ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord. Walk as children of light. For the fruit of the Spirit, joy, peace, love, kindness, hope, is in all goodness and righteousness and truth. There's no lies in that. Proving what is acceptable unto the Lord, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light, by God, by the light of men. These things are made manifest by men, by people, by the light that's in people. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And be not drunk with wine,
Yes.
wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord, giving thanks always for all things unto God and the Father in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. This light is exposing us. It's exposing things that's not this. It's exposing things that's not God. It don't feel good when you're doing the opposite of this and the light is shining on you, and when a man comes to you and shows you these things. Men that carry this light is going to expose things in our life. It's going to shine light to things in our life that we have to get right, that we have to change.
Yes.
I want to be exposed. I want light to shine in my life. Because the more light that shines in my life, the more that people can show me things in my life that, hey, you know what? You said this to me and it really hurt me. We have to be transparent with each other.
Yes.
We have to be straightforward with each other. Hey, you said this and it hurt me. You didn't do this and it hurt me. Now we have options. When we can be transparent with each other, now we have options because we're knocking at that door, seeing if the door is going to be open. And once that door is open, now we have an opportunity to change because the light is now in the house. We have an opportunity to do something different, to not cause pain in the future, because whenever we think that there's going to be pain, we're going to stay away from that. And it causes that fear of something that we think might happen that probably won't. We think that because he said this to me and it hurt me before, that I'm going to separate myself because I don't want to be hurt again. And it's a fear involved in that. But love, which conquers all,
Yes.
comes and knocks on the door, faces it and says, look, this is where you hurt me. And guess what? That same person that hurt you more than likely holds the key to your future. And you separated yourself from them because of fear of what might happen. Because fear that the light might show something that you don't want to be shown.
Yes.
We have to be willing and ready for the light shining in our life. We have to want that light to come into our life and expose the things that is not God, that is not this, that is not light. And once we start to do that, we're going to live a productive, healthy, our whole being is going to change from the inside out. That's when we're going to start to prosper. I want to change. I don't want to keep doing the same stuff that I have been doing and continue in patterns. We have to break patterns in our life. It don't matter if we think there's nothing wrong with them or not. We break them. And I didn't even think about this until this morning. So Haley and the Robbins family and a couple others took me out to eat for my birthday. And we went to the mall. And we had a very long wait, which was worth it. So we decided to walk around. And as we was walking around, we went into a store that I never had went into before. Jeremy was there. He went in this store with me. I don't know why we was in this store. But we was in this store. And it was a very nice store. And it had suits and ties and nice shoes and all these things. But I wanted to go in there, so we went in there. And I was looking around, and there was some expensive stuff. And I'm like, okay, this stuff is very expensive, first of all. So we was just kind of pondering through their stuff. Of course, they're trying to help us.
Yes.
And we ain't planning on spending our money in this store.
Well.
But I was looking, and I saw some shoes. And I was like, man, these shoes are nice. And I'm wearing the shoes, by the way.
Yes.
And I'm like, I've never had a pair of shoes like this. I've never had a pair of shoes like this. And my first instinct was, and I even told the lady, I said, I wear Converse, I wear tennis shoes and boots. This is what I wear. That's what I've always worn, you know. And I had to think about that. That's what I've always worn. That's what I've always done. I've never had something that I thought was nice.
Yes.
And then I thought back to my dad. As y'all know, he used to buy these shoes
That's right.
that I didn't like. And I used to talk junk to him about how much them shoes cost because I didn't think they were worth that.
Well.
But see, what I'm getting at is I broke a pattern in my life.
Yes. Yes.
Even though those shoes, these shoes were expensive, probably were overpriced,
Uh-huh.
but it was something different. I'm doing something different.
Yes.
And that made me feel good about myself.
Yes. Yes.
Because now I'm not walking down the same path. I've stepped out of my comfort
Come
zone.
on now.
And it cost me something.
All right.
It cost me.
All right.
Every time you do that,
All right.
it's going to cost you something.
Yes.
If you want this thing, you're going to have to give something to get it.
Yes.
Because the harvest is for the reaper. The harvest is for the man who sowed the seed.
Yes.
If you didn't sow the seed, how can you reap a harvest? And see, a lot of people are going to the ground and they're looking at the ground talking about, give me some tomatoes. The ground ain't going to give you nothing unless you come and give something to it. And always, it's going to give something back. That's what God gave to us. That is the light of men, because that light is harvesting the very seed that you're putting in the ground. Because you have to have light to have life. It's photosynthesis. And what you put in the ground, we are the seed, we're the sower, we are the light that grows it. We are everything in one package, in one man. Why? Because God is in men. God is in the light of men. God is in us.
Yes.
There is no other creature on this earth that has the ability to do what we do. So I heard something the other day. It was animals have attributes about them that they can blend into their environment. We don't have that. Why don't we have that? Because we have the mind to create our own environment. We create what we live in. As where they have to adapt, we being God in us, and we in Him have the ability to create our environment. There's no other species like us, because God, we came out of His image, because we came out of His Word.
Yes.
And in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. I want to create an environment in my life with this. I want this to rule my life.
Yes.
Because whenever this rules my life, then all of a sudden God is ruling and reigning in my life. And every aspect of my life is going to revolve around this. It's going to revolve around prosperity. It's going to revolve around winning instead of losing. Because none of this involves losing anything. It's all gaining something. So that tells me when we surround ourselves with these things, then we're going to start gaining instead of losing. So if every time I start losing in my life, I sit down and I think about, why am I losing? Who am I around that's causing me to lose? What am I putting in here that is causing me to lose? Because the same light that's in men, darkness, dwells within men too. And there's no in between. There's either light or darkness, because darkness cannot comprehend the light. We need to practice these things all day, all night. It's one thing to come to church and sit in church and do it one day a week. It's easy for me to do. But the real thing, the real challenge is when we start to persevere throughout our week and do these things. Maybe it don't feel like it's good, and it don't feel like that we want to do these things, but we take and go to the next level and take another step and another step, because we know what our outcome is going to be.
Yes.
We know what we're going for. We're going for light or life or God, however you want to say it.
Yes.
And once we start to persevere in these things and not do the same stuff we've been doing and hanging with the same people we've been hanging out with and following. I was thinking about that the other day. We all have Instagram and Facebook. We're following ideas. We're following people. Who are we following? Who are we following? I listen to a lot of entrepreneurs speaking because I aspire to have a lucrative business. And I am going to have a lucrative business one day. I aspire to have that. What you seek, you're going to find it. And I'm going to find it.
Yes. Yes.
So I listen to people who have ideas for me about that certain situation. Even though I don't even know these people, they don't know me from a hill of beans. But I listen to what they have to say. And I spend my time. That's the key. Where do we spend our time? A man works for 40 hours a week. Okay? And let's say he don't work, and time not spent either working or sleeping is roughly 72 hours. So if you have 72 hours in your week of idle time, what are we doing with that time? Are we sitting down and watching TV? and wasting that time on ideas that is bringing us vain imaginations and bringing us things that is destroying us and causing us fear. Because I still watch the news, but I used to get so caught up in the news and what was going on and all this, it brought fear in my life. And I had to cut way back on that because I seen it causing fear within inside of me. And that's where I spent my time. So what did I get out of it? Was fear. Where do we spend our time? Is it on the cell phone? Flipping? Scrolling aimlessly through something that's honestly not even there? Same guy I was listening to the other day also said, he said, I have a TV. He was talking against TVs. He said, I got several TVs. If there's a good program on I want to see, I'll watch it. He said, I got a car too, but I don't just get in it and drive around for 6 hours at a time with no destination. Think about that.
Amen.
What are we doing with our time?
That's right.
This life is beautiful. It's way too beautiful to be wasting it and not building it. Because what are we building for? You're building a future for your own seed. You're building ideas and plans for your own seed. For people who is coming up under your ideas and who is feeding off of you. This life is beautiful. I say it all the time because whenever I finally understood that, I wanted to do something with my life. I wanted to challenge myself to go and find this beauty in life. There's things that I want to do that I inspire to do that's probably, maybe you guys don't want to do. But there's things that I have set goals in my life that I just feel like I have to do. I want to travel around this world. I want to see everything that I could possibly see. But how can I do it without this? You can't. Beauty. Beauty. All this sums up everything. Giving even when you don't have anything to give. Yes, you sow. What are we sowing into? Give everything you've got, but give it to something. You put it in the ground that's going to grow it back to you. That is right. But you got to put it in something that's going to give you something back. Because you don't sow without expecting a harvest. I thank you guys for being here. I thank you guys for being family. I'm excited about where we're going. You know, Brother Dale started whole bit, and when he was talking about it, yeah, he's got to have money to do what he wants to do. But all I can think about is that's just one piece of the pie. Everybody in here has got some kind of something inside of them that they can do to help somebody else. That's just one small piece of this kingdom. We all need to find what it is and grow it. And grow it. Because your prosperity is going to come whenever you sow into others, just like you said. Whenever you sow and give what you don't have, or give the little bit that you do have, and give it all you got. But see, everybody's purpose is not for veterans. But if you got one that's for veterans, and then you got one that's for battered women, and then you got one that's for children, and then you got one that's focused on saving drug addicts and homosexuals and all this stuff, whenever you start adding that into one big puzzle, then what can you do?
Go ahead.
Everybody's got a piece.
Go ahead.
But we got to get this. We got to get the light. We got to find the light. I want to find the light. I want to know my peace. It's beautiful. It is. I always want to challenge you guys. Always. I always want to say something that's going to make you want to do more. You know, and I had to ask myself in my life, is my expectations, what I've set for my life, too high for other people? And I asked myself that because I felt as if my expectations were great for myself, and maybe other people don't have that same expectation. But we should. We should expect the greatest thing we can imagine. Why? Because you deserve it.
Yes.
You deserve it. And to expect anything less is a shame, because you deserve it all. You deserve so much more. Do not limit yourself. Do not set bars in your mind where this is all I want. I'm good right here. No. Even if it seems unachievable. I'll tell you what I did this morning. I sat down and I wrote myself a check for $1 million. And I stuck it on my... And I'm telling you guys this, that I believe with everything I have that I'm going to have this check.
Yes, indeed.
For $1 million, and I stuck it on my cabinet so I see it every day. I expect that check. I'm not taking that check down until I have a check in my hand for $1 million.
Amen.
And I'm going to get it.
I hear you.
And I'm going to do whatever I can to get it. I'm not just sitting back thinking it's going to come. No, I'm going to go get it. Because what you can grow with that $1 million is a lot more than what you can grow with $10. And there's a lot more people you can touch with $1 million than you can with $10.
Amen.
And as long as you got your mind set on $10, giving $10, all you're going to get is maybe $20. But if you have your mind set on $1 million, then what can you do? I want to inspire you guys like people have inspired me. And it's people. It's the light of men. When I started hanging out with people who thought business-minded and who thought prosperity, all of a sudden I began to prosper, and I began to take the ideas from them and apply them to my life. I began to take this stuff, pieces from them, and put it inside of me. And I just want to give that because it's changed my life. And I know that if it changed my life and I've watched it change others' lives, then not only will it change your life, but it'll change whoever you come in contact with. This life is beautiful. I mean, it's just plain and simple. And I love it. I love you guys. And that's all I got.